to get talking about how to create lead caption forms inside of your Piggyback blog. As you know, those of you that have your e-agency websites up and going already or have visited theirs, that your Keller Williams websites are already preloaded with contact forms. And if you've ever asked us if you could change anything on them, we've told you that we don't have the ability to edit those pages from KW. So in the past, we've been asked if you could make the phone section inside of the contact form be required and things like that. That's something that we have no control over currently with the e-agency platform. However, there's an option to create your own, which we've been talking about that. We talked about it last week about how the more information that you move over to your Piggyback blog from your e-agency website, the better off you're going to be when this change comes over from using your e-agency website to using your MyKW site offered to you by Playster. So contact forms are another part of that equation. Also, it gives you the ability to have a little bit more control over it. As of right now, whenever you get a lead, if someone fills out this form, then your leads automatically get put into your eEdge website. Your eEdge website also takes your leads from any contact form on your market leader website as well. Now, if you wanted a little bit more control, meaning that you just wanted all that information sent to this one email address, or you don't want to bother with it yourself, you have your system taking all the leads, then this is because you have a little bit more, well, you have a lot more control over it. And we also aren't completely sure of what's going to be going on with that eEdge system in the future. So inside of your Piggyback blog, those of you that have your standard default layout, you'll see an area that says plugins. If you're on basic, meaning that you see this option on your dashboard, you'll be able to click in down here where it says default and toggle it back and forth. If you're on basic, just toggle it over to default, and there you're going to see a section called plugins. And this plugins area will look a little bit different to you than it does to me because I'm in a super admin account at the very moment. So you'll see a couple of things that you're not going to see on your side. But what we're looking for specifically is a section called Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms is a very well-known, well-used plugin used for creating forms and managing the entries that you get from those forms. So if you're going to activate a plugin, you're just going to need to click Activate. What this is going to do is it's going to turn that plugin on. We're going to get the abilities from it. So you're automatically going to see a section come open underneath Media that says Forms. This is where we're going to control everything that's within that Gravity Forms area. So if we wanted to create a new form, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to click Add New, just like we're used to doing with posts and pages. If we want new ones of those, we just click Add New. So let's go and create a new post, a new form. Let's call this one Contact Us. If you wanted a form description, I like to write in like the little bit of content that I would like in between the title of that and the actual area. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write form description in here so you can see where this shows up whenever we pull it in. So I'm going to do the same with up here and do form title. So you can see when we pull that stuff in, then we'll be able to be a little bit more self-explanatory. So if we're going to build out the Contact Us form, and let's just, for the sake of it, make it exactly like the one that comes through on e-agency. So it asks for first name, last name, email, and phone. All right, so let's go in here and let's get the first name and last name. And I prefer to use advanced fields for some of those things like that. So name will automatically input first name, last name. These input fields can be changed at any time. So if you wanted one field that just someone could write in their full name, you could do a single line text under standard fields and change it yourself. So If we are under here, we just click on the big slot and we would edit the field label. And at that time, we would call it full name. And if we wanted to put a description, let's just see where that goes whenever we put it in there. And inside this area, you can also decide if you want it to be required or there won't be any duplicates allowed, meaning that the same person can't fill out the same form twice with the same name. So you definitely wouldn't want to do that if you have a lot of clients that are named John Smith. Then John Smith number 2 wouldn't be able to give you a contact. And there are more options under advanced, meaning like how you want it to lay out. However, I've never felt the need to go into any of that whenever it comes to just creating a standard contact form. So, description will display below the input area for your users. So, enter first and last name and or maiden name. This is just to show you where this goes. Okay, so we also want to grab their email address. So back under advanced fields, there's one already filled in there for email. And we want their phone number. So we're going to go and click phone. Ta-da! They're already there. All right, so first name, last name, email, phone number, the best time to reach me. Okay, so the best time to reach me is a drop-down box. And the options they have right now, it's anytime, morning, afternoon, and evening. So if we wanted to recreate that, we're going to need to get a drop down. So right here, drop down. So we need to put in the field label is going to be what our actual question is that they're going to be answering, which would be best time to reach you. And we're going to have 4 choices. So let's go and click our plus symbol here and get a 4th one. First choice is going to be anytime. Second choice is going to be morning. Third choice will be afternoon. And then 4th choice will be evening. And we can make that required or not required. And that's how you would add in a drop down. And then the next one is specifically a checklist area, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different checklist items that they can choose from. So this will be a little bit more challenging for me, so I'm going to copy and paste this into my other window so we don't have to go back and forth to try to remember what I need to write in each section. So we need to get checkboxes for that, and it's pretty easily laid out over here for us to be able to pick out what kind of things that we need. So if we're going to click checkboxes, it's going to give us our choices like it did for our drop-down. So our question is, I am interested in, and how many choices did we say we needed? That was 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we got quite a few here. So the first one was listing my home. See, this is that awesome ability that you have to have control over what information you actually want. If I'm someone that isn't trying to recruit, I wouldn't need to add in the option of learning about careers. Or if I specialize in new home purchases, I could literally have a choice in here saying purchasing my first home, so that I would know what kind of information I need to give this specific contact. So let me just keep going. Finding an agent, and then relocation, receiving a CMA. I'm sorry if I'm misspelling anything. Sometimes spell check isn't as accurate inside of these special pieces of your blog, but it should be way to go on your blog and inside your pages, posts and pages. And the last one is other. All right, so that's our list of options. And then the last one was a comments area, which would be a paragraph text area. So in the paragraph text, we're going to put our field label as comments. And that's it. So the last thing we would need to do is to go through and double check that we have everything required that we would want to definitely have if someone wanted to reach out and contact us. We definitely want a client's name, and we definitely want a form of communication. And for most people, they would prefer to have a phone number and an email address. Just a note, inside the phone section, you can decide if you want international as well as this specific layout for your phone numbers whenever they come in. Um, International is really important because you're going to need that country code. All right, so whenever someone fills this form out, they are required to put in the full name, the email, and the phone number. The rest of it is just awesome stuff that we hope that we get from them. So at that point, we're just going to click Update Form, and that's going to save our form for us. Now, underneath Form Settings, there are a couple of different options. One that's very important is going under Notifications. So let's just go ahead and go underneath there. And an automatic area under here is called the Admin Notification. And what that does is it's automatically going to tell you, automatically going to send the submission and all of its contents into your email address that's used for your Piggyback blog. Now, if you're not sure what your Piggyback blog email address is, you can go under Settings, General. Now I'm going to open this in another tab so we're not gone from where we're trying to, make sure this goes to. So you go in here, and this is your admin email address, just in case you want to verify and make sure that you've got the right one in place. So if you go underneath here, you can edit this. So let's say you also want the email sent to yourself and to someone else in your office. Let's say your assistant. So you would include it inside of the from. We don't want it in the from email. We want it in the to email, which would be here. So you see the name of the actual type of notification. You can send to, and then put a from name. You can say, that's not really necessary. What's more important is right here. To me, this is really important. So it says new submission form from, and then it's going to have the form title. For us, that was the one that we just made called Contact Us. So if I got an email from a lead, it's going to say new submission from Contact Us. I like to add in on, and then I would put my website name, because I'm the kind of person that I have multiple websites, and I want to know where this lead is specifically coming from. So something like that. Inside this area it says all fields, which means that all those fields that we put in there is just going to display all of them the way that they came in. And that's as simple as it is to kind of update how you get your information. And I guess I put that in wrong. Either way, it's just going to be a comma and then another email without another comma in front of it. Okay. All right, let's just leave it at admin email. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so confirmations is another thing. This is the email that gets sent out to, or this is the not an email. This is the text that displays after someone has filled out your form. So the default is for it to just automatically say, thanks for contacting us. We will get in touch with you shortly. Now, there's a time when you can say, thanks for contacting us, or we're hoping that you're going to be a great fit for our team. Let's say that would be something great to write as a confirmation if you added it to your join the team page or something like that. So this is your ability to be able to edit that. Or you can make them go to a specific page also. However, I think that it's just fine having a bit of text. And I don't think that we need to bother inside there. So form editor, we've got our contact us form all ready to go, and we want to add it to our new contact page. So we're going to go to pages, add new. The form does not add a whole new page to your site. It is a contact form, so it's just going to sit inside of a page that we add it to. Also, I just got a message saying, "Can we send an email?" That's what happens when someone sends contact information into one of these contact forms. It automatically gets sent to you as an email. And the last bit, we're going to need to have a new contact us page. So contact us, and you're going to want to write something really nice like, "We love speaking to our clients and potential members." So at that point, we're going to need to add the contact form. So we're going to do add contact form. Nope, not that one. Sorry, that's really confusing because that's from Jetpack sitting there. I'm going to click add form. On add form is when you have a drop down of all the contact forms that you've created. So there's the one that's called form title, which is the one we just made, and we can option off whether or not we want it to display the title that we gave it or display the form description that we gave it. I'm going to have it display both because I've named it form title and form description so that you could see where those areas would show. Okay, insert form. And we're just going to go ahead and click publish so we can go and look at it and the way it looks. So view page, and this is our contact form. And it's displaying our form title here and our form description here. Now, if I had named this form contact us, it wouldn't really need to show the form title because the actual title of my page is contact us already. So I wouldn't want to get redundant. People are able to go to your drop downs, select them. They can select multiple checkboxes, and then they would click submit, and you would get an email to your admin email address. Okay, let me go through some of these questions real quick. How does this form look? Can that be changed? The form is rather general, and I mean, it's going to utilize the fonts that are being used on your website already. So if it's bolded or not, I mean, you can see that the form title takes on a different font than the form description does, and that's by default based off of the website that I'm utilizing right now. And next question, confirmation to the person who completed the form. I'll have to check that myself, but I do know that whenever I click submit, let me put my name in here so that we have it. Tracy Adams. And I click submit. I have my display over here. And I'll wait and see if I actually, yes, I did actually. So let me just open that and I can show you. This is the email that I received when that submission came through. So it was very, very fast that I got notified that the submission went through. Okay. If you're here, let me get back to where I was. Sorry, guys. Contact us. Let me go through some of the questions real quick to get everybody caught up. So could we add one of these to every page on our site? Technically, yes. Some people will utilize these as a quick contact form. So if they just wanted to make a new form, let's say quick contact, and I'm literally going to call it quick contact. create the form, and all we wanted was their name and their email address, and then click update the form. And on any post that you created, you literally could just, write your post. Let me go into one I've already written so you can see it in something that has actual content in it. These are great also if you had, a page of like lots of listings and they got down to the bottom and they found something that they really wanted to contact you about. So let me add the quick contact form. I'm going to display the form title and update my post. And go ahead and view the post. So in my blog post, you can go all the way down to the bottom and see my contact form. You could do that instead of having the ability for people to even be able to, utilize the comment system as well, which this would be a lead that you'd get information from. So that's an option as well. Now, would I use it on every single post? Probably not. There's also the option for you to be able to add it to your sidebar over here. You could do that under Appearance, Widgets, and it's Form. And we're going to add that widget. We would love to hear from you. And grab the quick contact form and click Save. I'm going to move it to the top so we don't have to scroll so much to see it. And look back at our blog again. So you can add contact forms over here as well. Just be aware that some things might get cut off due to width requirements. Do you have to go to every page to insert the form? Yes, you do, because you have to decide whether or not that's the form that you want it to be on, or if you want that specific form on that specific page. How would you use this in a blog? It looks so large. Well, my comment was that it's a great alternative so that you can utilize your blog instead of utilizing those pages that are already on your e-agency website. So instead of utilizing this, we would then be utilizing, you'd be utilizing this page. And I'm trying to get the actual Contact Us page that I made. There we go. So you'd be able to utilize this instead, so that you have actual more control of it over it, and it's actually your content then as well. Can you repeat this process? Yes, I will. I'll do another form in just a few minutes, Marina. And can it take the place of the one that's already there? Yes. Yes, you can. What you would do is you would log into your e-agency website and you would go to section 3.1. Would anyone mind me utilizing their specific, let me just grab one real quick, because it's really hard to show you things inside of e-agency without having a login. If I log into there, I'm sure everyone has been inside of their e-agency area so far, right? That's under your technology screen, and you'll be able to access all of this stuff that's already inside of your e-agency area so that you can update or add information or change the content. However, what we've been preaching lately is to say that you utilize your Piggyback blog as much as possible, because the information from it will more easily transfer over to your Placer site once that has become active. If you wanted to add this contact form in place and take the place of this one, you would add it under section 3.0. Under section 3.1, customize website navigation. There's an area here called additional link, where you're able to add in any kind of links that you want. And you're automatically taken to a section called add new link for the option. However, on most of them, there's already a section called contact us or contact. So you can't use the same link name that's already there. You have to create a new one. It can't use the same one twice. So I'm just going to make one called contact. We're going to show this in the same window because it looks like the same website. This is the URL to my contact us page that I've just created. So you would go in here, you would copy the link, and for the URL, you would paste it. Now the URL is going to require that the HTTP is there if you ever have the possibility where you can't copy and paste and you have to type it all in by hand. You need to make sure that that's there. So that's what you would do, and then you would click save. I'm not going to click save on this because this client doesn't know I'm in their account at the very moment. And I'm not going to save or edit their information at all. I just wanted to be able to show you where you go to do this and how you change it. If you want to change the order, you do it under the additional category section, and you do it with the up and down arrows here. Okay, let me catch back up with questions real quick again. So yes, it can take the place of the one is already there, Christine, just like I just showed you. Can a PDF report be sent automatically to someone that signs up this form? I think that it could be done, but not through this system. It would have to be something that you'd have to utilize another like program for, like if you have MailChimp or something like that, like a mass texting system or something of that sort. But it's not going to automatically do this. This is literally just a contact form that gives you the contact information that you've got. Will the form accept a fake phone number? Yeah, it's not going to check to see if the phone number is real or not. So, I mean, it's going to be a requirement, but if someone wants to put in 111, 111, 1111, I mean, it's going to accept it. I mean, I don't know if there are any specific options where you can go in and make it to where it won't, but I mean, I can research that for you, Therese. How can I learn to put the map and properties in the individual boxes? I'm going to come back to that question. How come I don't have any forms in on my dashboard? Is that something I need to activate? Yes, Sharon. You have to go under the section called Plugins, right here. And inside of Plugins, you need to activate the plugin called Gravity Forms. Then you'll see the option come up called Forms over to the side. I thought when I create pages, they automatically go there. They do not. When you add pages into your Piggyback blog, they do not automatically join into your menu. However, if you add pages inside of 3.7, inside of your e-agency, they automatically end up in there. So it's two separate systems. Your e-agency site doesn't know if you've added pages to your Piggyback blog. Can the look of the format, can you change the look of the format, can be so not so plain? Honestly, that's a CSS thing. It's like a coding kind of thing. As of right now, I would say that you've been functioning for years with the contact forms you've been using on your e-agency websites. These are a little bit easier to read than those are, but you have the full control over them. So I think that should be the focus at the moment. But I'm not sure about how much control you'll have over changing the look of them. How can I learn? Can you use Piggyback to create landing or splash pages with the capture form? If you're going to make a splash page or a landing page inside your Piggyback blog, I've done this a couple of times, but I just literally recommend creating a page and doing add new. And for the template, make the template say no sidebar. So it'll be a full width page. And inside there, just add in your information and have your contact form. So name the it depends on what kind of landing page you really want, but if you're using like lead pages or listings to leads or whatever it was that we some people tried to utilize on the blog not too long ago. Um, it's it's a program you don't really like necessarily need aside from just having a page on your website dedicated to something specific that people only land on or people are only um, directed to if they're interested in something specific. Do you have any control of the URL? Your URL is automatically made from your Piggyback blog, your blog address with your contact name afterwards. So, not your contact name, your page name. So this is the title of my website, of my actual page that I'm using for a landing page. If I start typing down here, then my URL is created up here. So it's saying my URL is tracyadams.piggybackblogs.com/this-is-my-title. If you want to change this, this is the only part that you can really change. You can click edit and change it to where it's different than your title. This is what I want my URL to be. And click OK. Then that's what my URL will then be. But you have to remember, if you go in here and you start changing your URLs, if you've utilized them somewhere else, then you've broken the link then. Or if you've added it to your menu and then you go in here and change your URL this way, it's no longer going to link up in your menu if that's what you used and you set it that way. One last very important thing, if you have put these new contact form pages into your menu, you're going to have to remember that you need to refresh your blog. Now there's two locations where you can refresh your blog so that it looks the same as your website does again. And that would be under Jetpack, oh not Jetpack, Dashboard. I'm going to leave this. On your dashboard, there's a section here that says refresh, and it has your URL listed already above it. So you just click refresh there, and it'll say when it's been updated. If you have a hard time finding here, because I know that some people, when I've logged into their accounts, it's been in one long row. You can also find it under Appearance, e-agency, and then click refresh underneath there. Okay, so there are a couple of other forms in here. Let me see if the buyer resources one looks too much different. So, okay, I've made this one before, and it's a bit of a pain in the butt to make because it's a pretty long list of options, and so are these. However, I would, me personally, I would make this an input box that people could just put in what their minimum price and their maximum price is. So instead of them having to scroll and find it themselves. Um, so on your e-agency website, there are 4 contact forms already built in. There's a buying one, which is the searching for your dream home, the selling one, which is selling your home, the contact form, and there is another one. Oh, wait, I know what it is. Uh, your home's value. Those are your contact forms. So if you wanted to recreate all of those, I would say just have one open in one window and your Piggyback blog open in the other one, and just try to recreate them and adding and removing the things that you do or do not want. And then when you've made all those pages and you've got them the way you want them, then all at one time go into 3.1 and change the whole menu to include those all at one time. If you're adding something to your resources tab on on your um, on your menu, the option will be under the category section when adding your list, adding your listed item. Um, Robert says the only item he missed was the comments box. What is that? The comments box was called. Let me just go back in here. I just go under quick contact and edit it. If you wanted to do a comments area, most people are going to just write. So I put it in as a paragraph text, and you can put it in that way. And you can click it and ask like for your life story, any of that kind of stuff. And then they have a whole bunch of area to write. There are a lot of different options here, and I've never had to use anything other than advanced and standard fields, so don't be concerned. I've still got it open, Therese. Give me a second. I won't forget about you. Okay, so the last one. How can I learn to put the map and properties in the individual boxes? Are you meaning like individual boxes like with the WolfNet WordPress plugin? Okay, perfect. All right, so if you're wanting to add in, by the way, this concludes like the webinar section that I actually wanted to cover today. So I think we got through it and everybody's kind of got a good grip on it. If you have additional questions, I'm always available to speak. I'll include my link so you can schedule appointments with me. But I will open the floor for additional questions outside of utilizing Gravity Forms. Okay, so the question was how to utilize the WolfNet WordPress plugin to show your property listings inside your blog. So WolfNet is a section that is located underneath here. If you're going to utilize your WolfNet WordPress plugin, you do need to have a product key. And you'll have the product key here, and if it's active, you're usually going to have a green check mark to the side. Under here, you're going to find an area called Search Manager, and it's going to look very familiar. The Search Manager looks just like your MLS options for all your property searches. So if you are in here, you're going to want to select any of the property searches that you're wanting to grab. So let's say I'm going to do a search of Austin and Aurora, just because I like the names. And I'm only going to do condo searches between 500,000, well, 500,000 and up. And all the regular options that well, there aren't any condos that are 500,000 and up in Austin and Aurora. I don't think let me see. Well, let me lower my prices apparently. Maximum of, nobody puts a maximum. So there aren't any condos there. Single family, there's 6 houses in Austin and Aurora that are single family. And Barclay, whatever. So after I've got my search requirements set, and you can also do any of the other options that you have up here. If you want to find houses that are closest, like everybody's MLS is different. Because I know I don't see body of water that often on many people's information with MLS searches. So I'm just going to show you that there are more options besides the one that shows up the first time you log in. So there's search. I'm going to do a lake search and then save it. All right, so I'm going to make a post now and call that lake searching, lake property search. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And I would obviously, as always, write content and add photos. And then I will need to select the little WolfNet paw print. If you want the boxes, you'll have to click for the listing grid. Inside here, you can add a specific title. So if you've written quite a bit and it's far from the actual title of the page or the post, I like to actually include the title above the listing. So available lake properties. And for save search, you look underneath here, and I'm going to grab a lake search and click insert. Now, I didn't create the option for us to add the map, so let's do another one that will give us our map. So a second lake search. Same search, and we want to include the map above the listings. Click insert. All right, so we're going to have 2. So let's go ahead and publish this. and view the post. There's going to be a lot of, well, there's only 16 properties in there, so it's not going to be so bad. The title is displayed above, then you have your listings. And this is the second search that includes the map. And the map has the little houses on it so you can find them, and it'll take you to the actual property search. And this will look better if it wasn't on my Piggyback blog. It's just a sample plugin. In yours, it will still look like it's inside of that website. So does anyone else have any more questions? No problem. Are there any additional questions? Does this help keep the blog post refreshed with the property search? Um, Well, it helps add content to your blog for sure, and it definitely allows you to put lots and lots of pages onto your domain. So it's a big SEO help, that's for sure. And this is also a great option if like you've written about a neighborhood event that's been going on, and um, you just want to add in some properties that people would probably like to purchase if they were involved in these kind of events and things like that. Does that answer the question? Awesome. Okay, if there are no more questions, all right, one more. On my previous blog, I inserted the WolfNet and they appeared just like yours, yet when I went back to it later, it turned into a link. All right, that's a great question. Whenever you go to a blog, let's just go back to my blog. All right, so you see them all listed out and you see all the actual property images here. But if I go to just my blog, it's turned into a link. There's a reason for that. Now let's say I have 10, 20 blog posts showing on this page that's my blog. It's going to display all my content and everything else all on this one page. So can you imagine if you had like 10 blog posts that all were trying to show 50 property photos piece? That's like what, 500 photos that they're trying to load on this one single page? That's why it's just a link. Now, when people find you on search engines, they're not going to find this page. They're not going to find your blog page. They're going to find this page because this is the page that actually has your content on it. So this is what the actual blog post or blog page is what Google's going to give someone if they're searching for something that you've written. So most people, unless they're on your website, just happenstancely clicking on blog, are going to end up on that actual blog page seeing that just the link. You're welcome. I'm glad you understand, Judy. And the last question, so I can add pages to my website. Yes, so you can add pages to your website. That's the main, like, well, not the main like reason why you should use the WolfNet WordPress plugin, but it's one of the great benefits to it, and the ability for people to just see property listings rather than having to always search for them. So yeah, that's it's a great plugin. I say use it as much as you can, but always accompanying it with content and photos other than the ones it's going to display. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap this webinar up, and I appreciate everyone for joining us. If you check back around the end of the day today, you can find this webinar recorded and available under our Piggyback blog webinars playlist on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and anytime we add a new video, you'll get an alert. So that would be awesome. Um, so I appreciate everybody for showing up, and I'll see you again next week.